If you're just starting out on your journey as a filmmaker or content creator and you're feeling stuck and don't know where to go next, you're not alone. At the beginning of my career, I definitely felt in the dark, not knowing what steps to take and where to go next, and have even lost my way more than a few times. I don't claim to know everything, but it's been through many painful lessons that I learned everything that I know today, and it is truly my mission to help as many people as I can get through the journey with as little mistakes as possible and get to their goals a whole lot quicker. So that's why I wanted to do this video and answer some of your questions based on my journey and experiences, and even some of the stuff that I'm learning today. I'll even share the one experience that truly changed everything for me in my career. We're also gonna announce the winner of the MUSICBED B200 from Jiyun. I am super excited for this video and we're gonna dive right in. But before we do, what's happening? My name is Ryan, and if you're new with us, welcome. I truly appreciate you being here. All right, let's get it. This first question is from my boy, Gary. He says, what was a really difficult shoot and how did you handle it? Or what did you learn from it? This is a really great question and not something that I get asked very often, so I'm super excited to answer this one. This is the one experience that I was referring to at the beginning of the video. So if you've been watching the channel for some time, you have probably seen that, Fox and Crown Creative started as a creative agency where we offered a ton of different creative services, including graphic design, web design, photography, and of course, video. Now, fast forwarding from that, I got a client that called and she wanted to do a narrative style TV commercial. Now, this was the first time that I've ever done anything like this. Narrative being that there was a script, a couple of actors, plot, some lines, all of that kind of stuff. I really had to map out a whole story here versus grabbing some B-roll, some drone footage, doing some interviews. This was very different from what I was used to doing. This was many years ago. And as we went on and did our research and continued to move on with this project, I realized I had no idea what I was doing. During that time, I took that opportunity to learn as much as I possibly could. Now, not to say I didn't know anything before, but two things that I actually had a whole lot of trouble with, believe it or not, was story and lighting. Now, again, if you've been following me on the channel for some time, you know that lighting used to frustrate me. I could not figure out for the life of me how to get the image that I saw in my head. And so I did a ton of research to figure this out. It actually does get simpler and simpler as you understand cinematic lighting and cinematography, and that is what I teach here on the channel. So if you are interested in learning more about that, definitely subscribe to the channel, check out some of the videos that we have here because they might be super helpful. Why did this change my life forever? Well, number one, I made the decision to hop on a project that I wasn't 100% comfortable with. I would argue that these are the moments in life and in your business and in your career when things really start to change and take off. This is when growth happens. This is when you're uncomfortable and you have to figure out how to be comfortable with the situation. And this was definitely me. But the other thing that I would note is that I made the decision and the commitment to learn these things. And that's the thing. The point is, as I said yes, not feeling 100% comfortable or even ready. And starting before you're ready is a key thing in anything that you do. If you want to start a YouTube channel, start when you're not ready, because it's really all about just making content and getting content out there and getting better with every time you upload a video. Same thing for filmmaking. Everything that I had learned to make this commercial film set me up for the rest of my career. This truly changed my life. It brought in more clients and the people that I actually want to work with on the projects that I want to work on. And all I had to do was say yes to the project when I felt uncomfortable, and then I practiced a ton on my own. Anyway, great question, Gary. Love this question. Let's move on to the next one. I'm having a hard time batching work, life, and finishing passion projects, and actually have a couple sitting on my hard drive. I can definitely relate to that. It would be cool to see your time management skills and how you get your videos done. And I think this is more of a video request. So if this is something that you would like to see, I would love to make this video. But here's how I would answer this. Number one, time management is a tricky thing, especially for us creatives. At least for me personally, I have a hard time focusing and I am very easily distracted. Like, for example, right now, there's some construction happening right out here. I don't know if you could hear it with this microphone, but it's completely distracting me from this video and my train of thought. And this happens often, actually. There was one time when I was trying to write a script, and instead of writing the script, I rabbit holed into this whole research about procrastination, and ironically enough, that is what I was doing. I was procrastinating. Super silly. But anyway, my point is that it has to become an effort, and I'm not always great at this, so I'm probably not the leading example. But if I want something to get done, I gotta do it. It's as simple as that. Like, for example, I've been wanting to do this giveaway for a long time. And so one day I just said, you know what, we're doing it. And I announced it. And because I announced it, it had to happen. That's the thing, is I try to put myself in situations that it more keeps me accountable. But more specifically, what I do is I use time blocks. I block out my time for everything. So if I'm editing, I block out time for that. If I have a film shoot, or I need to film a YouTube video, or I need to hop on a client call, whatever it might be, all of that stuff is blocked out on my calendar. And then I set reminders on all of those things as well. Again, things happen and I have to move stuff around, but if you work a 9 to 5, then try to block out some time after work to get the thing done. And I understand, you know, coming home and being exhausted and not wanting to do anything. This is definitely a case for me from time to time, but nothing that's gonna change your life is ever gonna come easy. So my encouragement to you is to try to find a way to make it happen. Carve out some time, you know. But with all of that said, for me, I'm all about family first. And so this is kind of how I prioritize my time. First, my relationship with the Lord, and then my relationship with my family. That is key. Without them, nothing else matters to me. And then there is this, what I'm doing with you here. And filmmaking too, when I'm making documentary films or whatever, TV commercial or client work, you can call it work, but I call it what I do. I love what I do, and so I'm always able to find time for it. But keep yourself in mind. Tired eyes see a distant future. I think that's how the quote goes. So definitely rest when you need to and work hard until you reach your goals, and then find the next one and work hard towards that one too. Great question, love this. All right, next question. Do you think that the FX3 photo abilities are sufficient for taking photos during events, conferences, and similar stuff to be posted online, no billboards or print? Since more than 90% of my work is video related, with plans and ambitions of pivoting completely into proper filmmaking, I'd love to get the FX3. Here's how I answer this question. First of all, I just made a video called the FX3 versus the A7 IV. It's actually part 2 of another video that I made, so I'll link both of those down below. But in the second one, I talk about the stills because I actually got another question about this. The FX3 is gonna have a lower megapixel than the A7 IV. So if you are looking to do print, the FX3 might not be the right one for you. But for something like this, when you're using it for events and conferences and things like that, and it's only going online, I would probably recommend the FX3. Now, this is just my personal opinion. Here's why. Number one, if you're doing conferences and events, then most likely you're gonna have some weird lighting or very low lighting. It's hard to control the lighting conditions in an event and a conference. And I've done enough of these where it's super helpful to have something that can shoot in low light and still get you a quality image. The FX3 can take stills, and they do look good online. If you're using it for content creation, for photos on a website or whatever, the FX3 is gonna be more than enough for that. But it's also going to allow you to have a lot more flexibility when it comes to filmmaking and making videos with the FX3. There's a whole lot more that I could say about this, like the top handle and the internal fan and all those things, but definitely check out those 2 videos if you'd like to learn more about what I think and how I use these cameras specifically. Next question is, for sound equipment, is there anything you would recommend for a boom mic and a lav? Great question. I don't have specific recommendations, but here is what I like to use personally. The first for a lav is the DJI wireless mics. And DJI actually came out with a new version of this, so definitely check those out. I haven't had the opportunity to use those yet, so I can't recommend them, but the original version I do have, and I love them, and I've used them for client projects many times. You can either just clip them on, magnetize them on, or put a lav mic into it and use it that way. So many different options, and you can monitor from your camera, from the receiver, and there's 2 ways to record. You can either just plug it in. For my boom mic or shotgun mic, I use the Sennheiser MKE 600. I can't say enough about this microphone, but to not make this a very long video, I'll try to keep it short by saying this. I'm using this mic right now. It's the mic I use for all of my videos, and it's the mic I use to capture Foley for short films and documentaries. It's also the mic that I use for client projects if I'm doing an interview or anything like that. And it's also the mic that I use to create all of my sound effects in my sound effects pack. But the cool thing is that I have been using this mic since 2018. I actually started using it when my church bought one, and I was using it for a bunch of our videos, and I loved it so much that I bought my own. I don't see myself trading this in for anything else anytime soon. Just my personal opinions though. I'll leave affiliate links down below if you'd like to check those out more. Next question is, I would be interested to know how the B200 performs in daylight like a fill light? This is a really great question, and the best way to answer it is to show you, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is what the B200 looks like on outside in the middle of the day. This is about high noon right now, a little bit after high noon, and this is what it looks like. It's at 50% right now. I'm using the app. I'm gonna turn it off. That's what it looks like off and on. Very slight difference, but what if I turn it up to 100%? Now we're at 100%, and this is doing a really good job of filling in the shadows on this side. So once again, we're gonna turn it off with the app and turn it back on. There's the difference there. I think it actually looks pretty good. So I would say that yes, you could use the B200 as a fill light outside. You might have to bump it up to 100%, maybe not, depending on what time of day that you are working in. And also too, you can experiment with this and creating, sunset lighting. If you're shooting at blue hour, you can do the same diffusion technique that I'm doing right now, your color temperature to 3200 Kelvin or 2700 Kelvin or something like that to get that kind of effect. But I would say overall, it's pretty powerful light. For a 200 watt light, this works really well outside. But that is it for questions today. Let's announce the winner of the B200. The winner of our giveaway is, I don't know, I was trying to do a drum roll, that didn't work. The winner of the giveaway is PJ_cinematographer. Congratulations, dude. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that you got this light. To collect your prize, DM me at foxandcrown.creative over there on Instagram. Send me your information and I will get this mailed out to you as soon as possible. Thank you to all of you who entered into the giveaway, and for all of you who entered into your questions. I'm truly, truly grateful for every single one of you, and all of you that have subscribed, all of you who have recently subscribed. I just appreciate you guys so much. If you liked this video or you learned something, please click the like button down below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless.